I'm going to hand you over to the experts at Sky Germany to talk to you about personalization at scale. Please give them a warm welcome to the stage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. My name is Lucas. I'm a Senior Client Experience Manager here at Movable. I'm very excited to be here on stage for this fireside chat, especially because I'm joined by two amazing marketers from Sky who've been driving some of the most creative campaigns in personalization we've seen recently. Today, we'll be talking about how they turned data into emotional, personal storytelling and how that's helped them connect more deeply with their customers across engagement, win-back, and even sports communication. So welcome Eva and Gero from the Sky Germany marketing team. Eva, to kick things off, can you tell us a bit about yourself and how the whole personalization journey started for your team?
Yes, thank you, Lucas. Hello, everyone. I'm Eva. I'm a communication manager at Sky Germany for 5 years now. And I'm responsible for all of our fiction content engagement emailings we do for our base customers. Yeah, happy to be here today and also share a bit of what we do. So where did our journey start? I would say it started with us wanting to create a more relevant and also personalized communication for our base customers. A few years ago, we've done some things in the personalization area, I would say, but not that much. And I think that really changed with our year in a review campaign that we did together with Movable. That was 3 years ago now. And it really helped us to, on the one side, push engagement, but also thank customers for their loyalty. We did that by recapping on their past year's highlights. We gave them a chance to share it on social media. So it was really inspired by the Spotify rap campaign that we all know. So that really helped us to start something new, I would say. And also, it was still some manual effort, but that was because we were still in the beginning of creating campaigns like that. But we really knew that we want to keep on going with it and also use that approach, that whole wrapped-up approach, also for different areas. And we really wanted to do something in the commercial area where we also make customers an offer.
Mm-hmm. That's such a great example of how you turned inspiration, in this case from something like Spotify Wrapped, and involved in a completely new way of communicating with your customers. And you mentioned there was a bit of challenge transferring that into the commercial space. Did you find a solution? Did you overcome that?
Yes, we did. So especially for commercial, it was important for us to really find like a timing in the customer lifecycle where we have the chance to really make the customer a relevant message. We knew it needed to be an automated campaign because commercial campaigns are often more complex than engagement campaigns. So we identified like an opportunity in our early win-back area. And we wanted to create something to really reconnect with customers there because until then, we just worked with really generic messages in our email campaign. So we wanted to merge our year in a review campaign that we did for engagement with our win-back standard emailing in the end. By that, our first step, I would say, was to think about our whole data setup. So we really wanted to create a content for customers that is relevant to them. As you can imagine, early win-back customers, it is not the easiest target group, I would say. They've just left Sky, they've already canceled their contract. So we really needed something that was really relevant for them and that would convince them to come back to us in the end. So what we did is we worked with behavioral viewing data. So we had a look at customers past year with Sky, their usage behavior, what they enjoyed the most in the end. And we took that to integrate as a content in the campaign. A second data point for us was next best content recommendations. So based on customers' interests and what they've watched, we recommended something new to them. So also titles on Sky they've not yet seen, so we could really say, this is what you've been missing during your time with us. And last but not least, also really important for our commercial area are upcoming titles. So what we did is we had the message, those are the highlights that would be worth returning for. You've not seen them. They are just starting in the next weeks and months. And that was really like the third big data point we used for that campaign.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very nice. I like what you said there at the beginning, that it's important to finding the right moment in the customer lifecycle where that personalized message actually matters. And what part of the campaign are you personally most proud of, you would say?
I would say it's definitely the layout we created in the end. So after we identified all of our data points, we really thought about how could this personalization look like in customers' inboxes, and how do we bring all those elements together in the end. And this is what we created. So as you can see, we have several different email versions. We have up to 7 different, completely automated and personalized layouts, and they're all based on the customer's interests. So, of course, we have some customers that are more interested in fiction content, so series and movies. For them, we concentrated more on the content itself and also on the recommendations that I mentioned earlier. And on the other side, we also have, of course, a lot of sports and German football customers that we then targeted with a communication on the right. So it was really, I would say, fan-centered. So we, for example, included the favorite club of the customer and also recommended, for example, upcoming matches they would be missing if they will not come back to us in the end. So I feel like the whole layout, when it was personal and it was something new, in the end, that really made a difference, and customers do pay more attention because it feels less like marketing and more like a personal conversation with us.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I love that you focused on emotional storytelling rather than discounts or offers. Like, there's no price here at all. It's really more a "we remember you" message than a "please come back with a special offer." And what impact did that personalization have? Is there any results you can share with us?
Yes, we can already share some insights. So what we did is, once we created the campaign, we tested the personalized movable ink version against our standard emailing we had so far. And what we could see is that the movable ink version outperformed the standard one with a 7 times higher conversion rate. So that was really, a really good result for us. Also, because what's important here, we only do have a telephone number also in the campaign. So we do not link the customer to any external page or so. We just, they have to be active and call us to get their win-back offer. So that was really impressive for us to see. And yeah, in the end, the personalization really was a key performance driver, I would say.
I mean, 7 times higher conversions is incredible. Clearly, in this case, personalization is not just a creative choice, but a performance driver. And looking back at the campaign when it first started, I know it's ongoing, but when it first started, what would you say were like your biggest learnings from it?
I would say in the end, it was like framing our whole win-back message around those emotional messages and those emotional triggers, so to really create like a nostalgia for customers and that sense of they still belong to us somehow, even if they've canceled. But it really helped us with that campaign to create something like that. And I would say the most important thing was the whole recap topic we did. That really helped us to create like a value for money for customers. The new message, we took a risk, I have to say, so it was completely new for our commercial area to just try a new messaging, go away from that generic offer communication we did so far. And by that, I would say also the higher relevance we created for customers in the end. Of course, relevance should always be the most important thing when you create campaigns like that, but we could really see that it allowed us to like create a whole new reconnection to customers and also bring back more customers than usual. So that was really good for us to see. And because of that, we will also use that approach for other campaigns and keep on going with it. And yeah, I'm already excited to see where this will take us.
Perfect. Such a powerful takeaway as well, right? Like rebuilding that connection to your customers through emotion and relevance rather than offers and discounts. Thank you, Eva. That was great.
Thank you.
Now, let's move to another part of the personalization story, one that will speak to all the sports fans in here. Gero, would you like to introduce yourself quickly and then give us a brief look into how you turned into personalized fan communication, especially around the German Bundesliga?
Yes, so hi everybody. Thanks Lucas, thanks Eva. I'm a little over 4 years now at Sky Germany in the customer communication area. I'm more or less the counterpart to Eva. All she does for fiction, I'm doing for sports. I love watching sports, I love doing sports. And even though golf is my main sport, football comes close to it. And that's what we want to talk about the next few minutes. So where do we come from? We sent a newsletter to everybody who had the Bundesliga package at Sky. And we sent them for special occasions like the first match day, the first match day after the winter break. We do have that in Germany compared to English football. And we sent them to, I don't know, the last few match days. And nothing personalized, so we sent them to everybody. And we wanted to change that because we had the viewing data, so we know what the favorite club of the customer was. And so we did some testing there, if that works. For example, here on the that's the right-hand side for you guys, you see a Schalke and Dortmund variant, where we have the Schalke one in blue, and the Dortmund one is in black and yellow. And so everything the customer receives is in their favorite team color. And we could select the customers by their viewing data. So we sent the newsletter only to Schalke fans and the other one only to Dortmund fans. And another test we did was for a full second league match day. So I had to build 18 different versions because we have 18 teams in the second league. And that was a lot of effort. But the results were great, so it was worth it. And but then we had the challenge to transfer that into the BAU, because obviously it wasn't possible to build 18 different versions week in and week out.
Exactly. So you did prove the value with that, and then the next step, as you said, was scaling it up to the big BAU, first league, second league, 18 teams, that's 36 variants. So how did you bring all those insights together into an automated setup?
I was not forced to say that, but Movable played the key role here. So we have the viewing data from our side, so we know what the favorite team of the customer is. Then we have two powerful sources by our Sky Sport landing pages, which has basically every information you need. And we have a big API from OptaFeeds. And so we needed to combine all the sources, and that's where Movable came into play. And since it's all live data, we are always up to date, and the customer always receives the newest news. And yeah, the missing piece in the end was to find a fitting layout for the newsletter.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a great example of using your data for good storytelling, making sure that every fan message feels alive and relevant. Now, we've seen the Winback layout from Eva. How creative did you go on the Bundesliga one?
I would say almost as creative, hopefully. I'm a huge FC Bayern fan. That's why I present you an FC Bayern version of that newsletter. I feel like Bayern is the most famous German club. And yeah, let me guide you through it, what we thought about it. So obviously, the personal club identity in the top. So you see your team who's playing against. In this case, it was FC Bayern against Hoffenheim, and Bayern was playing away from home. Next up, we have a tailored copy, including the game, date, and time, to maximize the relevance for the customer. Then we have our lovely match facts. We called them Did You Know and More Insider News. And I feel like that's a pretty perfect name, because even if you are the biggest fan of FC Bayern, you don't know these match facts, and you don't find them anywhere online. So they are for the commentators and the reporters at the game. And as I said, even for the biggest fan, they don't know that, I don't know, probably Bayern hasn't lost a game since 10 years or whatever. And in between, we have a news block. So one news is for your team, one news is for the opponent, and one news is for the Bundesliga overall. And as I said, it's all live. So if you open it on Friday or if you open it on Saturday, you get completely different news because it's always the up-to-date. Then we have some highlight videos of, for example, previous games or in-match highlight clips. And at the end, we have the Bundesliga table. Obviously, Bayern always on top here. And as you can see, you see the top 5 teams. So if your team isn't in the top 5, you will see your team bordered at the position of team number 5. And to give you an overview, we have 36 different clubs, so 18 clubs from the first league and 18 clubs from the second league. That makes 36 unique versions, and you can see by the color. So for the FC Bayern fans, everything is nice and red. For Dortmund, it's black and yellow, and so on. So every team has their own color. And yeah, that newsletter is live now since over a year, and we send it out on Friday, before the first match of the second league, and we target around 600,000 customers each and every week.
Amazing. That looks like every football fan's dream newsletter, and all automated, which is very, very impressive, Gero. But tell us, does it perform as good as it looks?
Short answer is yes,
Perfect.
obviously. No, I brought you the numbers of the last few match days from last season. And as you can see, the opener of the newsletter was always, or there was a high interest when opening the newsletter. You have a almost 10% more likelihood to watch the game. So the newsletter gave you the information you need, gave you the tension to want to watch the game. Maybe you forgot when the game is taking place, so you get a nice reminder. And we, as you can see, the personalization always has a big impact in every game, but for the less important games, the impact is even higher. So I don't know, for German football fans, Bayern against Dortmund, everybody knows when they are playing, but for some games of the second league, not everybody is clear when they clash up.
I mean, the numbers really speak for themselves, and I love that you're getting so much engagement, especially around those less critical games where it's really hard to get the viewers to watch those. So congratulations on that. Emotional connection really makes a difference here, I would say, in your communication. So what's next? Is there anything planned beyond the German Bundesliga?
Yes. So I don't know who attended last night, but we adapted the logic already for Formula 1. And that comes, the newsletter is performing almost as good as the one for the Bundesliga. And we have so many great live sport events at Sky that we want to increase the value of the live events by sending them fitting newsletter. And we thought outside the box a couple of years ago by the Bundesliga newsletter. We did that for the Formula 1 newsletter. And I feel like we continue to think outside the box and adapt that for several different occasions. And I know we are in London and they have a few nice football clubs, but my favorite English club is Liverpool. And maybe one day we're gonna adapt it for the Premier League and have a Premier League newsletter as well.
Fantastic. I love the idea of extending that fan-first approach beyond into other leagues and into other sports like the Formula 1. So congratulations. Eva, Gero, thank you both so much for sharing your stories and insights today. And thank you all for joining us. I hope this gave you a little glimpse into how personalization can drive not only engagement, but also emotion and loyalty around every part of your customer communication. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the summit.